Module 5, Understanding Customers Deeply. Theme, Data tells you what, empathy tells you why. Welcome to Module 5, Understanding Customers Deeply. In this module, we are going beyond customer data, beyond numbers, beyond transactions, and beyond what customers simply do. We are going deeper into why customers think, feel, choose, hesitate, complain, stay, or leave. The theme of this module is, Data tells you what, empathy tells you why. This theme is very important because many businesses today collect a lot of data. They know how many customers bought a product. They know how many people clicked a link. They know how many people visited a website. They know how many customers complained, subscribed, unsubscribed, or returned. But data alone does not always explain the full story. Data may tell you that customers are leaving, but empathy helps you understand why they are leaving. Data may show that customers are not using a product, but empathy helps you discover whether they are confused, overwhelmed, disappointed, or simply not seeing enough value. So in this module, we are learning how to combine customer intelligence, behavioral insight, and empathy to create stronger customer relationships and better business decisions. By the end of this module, learners should be able to understand the emotional and psychological factors that influence customer behavior. This means we will not only look at customers as buyers. We will look at them as human beings with feelings, fears, expectations, values, frustrations, and desires. A customer may choose a brand because it is affordable, but they may stay with that brand because it makes them feel respected. Another customer may complain not only because something went wrong, but because they feel ignored. Learners will also be able to differentiate between customer data, customer insight, and customer understanding. Customer data is the raw information. For example, a customer bought 3 times in 1 month. Customer insight is the meaning we draw from that data. For example, this customer may be highly engaged or may have a recurring need. Customer understanding goes even deeper. It asks, what is driving this behavior? What does this customer value? What emotion or need is behind the action? This module will also help learners interpret customer behaviors beyond surface-level metrics. Sometimes, numbers can be misleading if we do not understand the context. A customer may stop buying not because they dislike the product, but because the process became inconvenient. A customer may complain often not because they are difficult, but because they are trying to be heard. Learners will also learn to identify customer motivations, expectations, fears, and unmet needs. This is where deeper customer understanding becomes powerful. When you know what motivates customers, you can communicate better. When you know their fears, you can reduce anxiety. When you know their unmet needs, you can design better solutions. This module will also introduce empathy-driven approaches to customer experience and engagement. Empathy does not mean guessing what customers feel. It means listening carefully, observing honestly, and designing with the customer's reality in mind. Learners will also be able to analyze customer feedback and behavioral patterns more effectively. Feedback is not only found in survey forms. It can come through complaints, reviews, conversations, social media comments, support tickets, customer silence, and even repeated behavior. Another important goal is to help learners build stronger emotional connections between customers and brands. Customers may first come because of a product, price, or promotion, but they often stay because of trust, connection, and positive experience. This module will also show how emotions influence loyalty, trust, and decision-making. Human beings are not purely logical. Even in business decisions, emotions matter. People want to feel safe, valued, confident, respected, understood, and supported. At the end of this module, learners should have the practical ability to combine data and empathy to create more meaningful customer relationships and more effective business decisions. Now, let us look at the recommended requirements for this module. To benefit fully from this module, learners should have a basic understanding of customer service, business, marketing, or customer experience concepts. You do not need to be an expert, but it helps to understand how businesses interact with customers. You should also have an interest in understanding customer behavior, emotions, and decision-making. This module is not just about tools or systems. It is about people. So curiosity is important. Learners should be willing to learn through storytelling, discussions, and real-life case studies. This is because customer understanding is often easier to grasp when we connect it to real situations. You should also be open to empathy-driven and customer-centered thinking. Sometimes, businesses are used to seeing things from their own internal point of view. But this module encourages us to ask, how does this feel from the customer side? Learners should also be willing to participate in practical exercises, reflections, and customer analysis activities. Deep understanding requires active thinking. It requires asking better questions and listening beyond the obvious. Access to a laptop, tablet, or smartphone will also be useful for learning materials and activities. Now, who is this module for? This module is suitable for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to understand customers beyond sales and transactions. It is also useful for customer experience professionals who want to design experiences that make customers feel seen, valued, and respected. Customer service and relationship teams will benefit because they interact with customers directly. They hear complaints, emotions, frustrations, and expectations every day. Marketing and sales professionals will also find this module valuable because effective marketing is not just about promoting products. It is about understanding what customers truly care about. Product and brand managers can also benefit because products and brands are stronger when they are built around real customer needs. Startup founders, growth teams, corporate teams, and anyone focused on customer engagement and loyalty will also gain practical insight from this module. This module is especially valuable for anyone who wants to build stronger emotional connections with customers, improve trust and satisfaction, understand hidden needs, create empathy-driven experiences, and move beyond data into deeper customer insight. Whether you are new to customer intelligence or already working in a customer-focused role, this module will help you understand customers on both a behavioral and emotional level. Now, let us move into the slides. Slide 1, Understanding Customers Deeply. The opening slide is titled, Understanding Customers Deeply. The subtitle says, Blending Analytics with Empathy for Lasting Relationships. This sets the tone for the entire module. The question we should begin with is, do we truly know our customers, or do we just know their numbers? This is an important question because many organizations believe they understand their customers simply because they have reports, charts, dashboards, and sales records. But knowing that a customer bought something is not the same as knowing why they bought it. Knowing that a customer stopped using a service is not the same as knowing what made them stop. Knowing that a customer gave a low rating is not the same as understanding the emotion behind that rating. So, this module invites us to go deeper. Analytics gives us structure. Empathy gives us meaning. When both come together, businesses can build stronger and more lasting relationships. Slide 2, Opening Story, the ATM Insight. Let us look at the opening story about First Bank of Nigeria. The data showed heavy ATM use on Fridays. At first, this may look like a simple operational insight. More people use ATMs on Fridays, possibly because of salaries, weekend spending, or market activities. But surveys still showed that customers complained about inconvenience. Now, if the bank only looked at the numbers, they might conclude that the solution was simply to add more machines or speed up the transaction process. But when field teams visited the branches, they discovered something deeper. The queues were not only about cash withdrawal. The queues had a social element. People were meeting friends, interacting, talking, and connecting. That observation changed the understanding. The bank then added outreach booths and customer greeters, and satisfaction improved. The point is this: numbers explain what customers do, observation reveals why they do it. This story teaches us that customer understanding requires more than dashboards. Sometimes, you have to go where the customer is. You have to watch, listen, ask, and understand the emotional and social context around the behavior. Slide 3, Head Data and Heart Data. This slide introduces two types of understanding, head data and heart data. Head data is quantitative. It tells us the what. These are behavioral metrics like clicks, orders, frequency, purchase history, website visits, subscription renewals, and support tickets. Head data is important because it gives evidence. It helps businesses see patterns and measure behavior. But heart data is qualitative. It tells us the why. It includes customer motivations, feelings, values, fears, expectations, and personal experiences. For example, head data may tell you that many customers abandon a checkout page. Heart data may reveal that they feel unsure about delivery costs, payment security, or return policies. Head data may tell you that customers call support often. Heart data may reveal that instructions are confusing or that customers do not feel confident using the product. Real customer understanding happens when both are merged. If you only use data, you may miss the emotion. If you only use emotion, you may miss the pattern. But when data and empathy work together, the business can see the customer more clearly. Slide 4, Local Case Study, MTN. The MTN case study shows how lifestyle understanding can create customer delight. MTN found that youth customers spent a lot of time on music apps at night. This is more than a data point. It reveals a lifestyle rhythm. Young people may be studying late, relaxing at night, chatting with friends, streaming music, or enjoying entertainment when data costs are more affordable. By understanding this behavior, MTN introduced nightlife bundles, offering cheaper data during midnight hours. This shows how customer understanding can lead to better product design. The lesson is, listening to lifestyle rhythms creates customer delight. A business should not only ask, what are customers buying? It should also ask, when are they using it? What are they doing at that time? What mood are they in? What need are they trying to satisfy? When businesses understand the customer's lifestyle, they can design offers that feel timely, relevant, and personal. Slide 5, Global Case Study, Disney. Disney gives us a powerful example of empathy in design. Disney's Imagineers observe families in parks to understand unspoken needs. They do not only rely on what visitors say in surveys. They watch how families behave. They observe tired parents, restless children, long queues, stress points, moments of excitement, and moments of frustration. From these observations, Disney can design better experiences. For example, adding shade to queues, creating games while people wait, or designing smoother movement through the park. The insight here is, empathy is design intelligence. This means empathy is not just a soft feeling. It is a practical business tool. When a company truly observes customer emotions, it can design better services, spaces, products, and processes. Customers may not always know how to explain what they need. A tired parent may not say, I need a better queue management system. But their body language, stress, and behavior may show it. Empathy helps businesses notice what customers may not be able to articulate clearly. Slide 6, The Empathy Map. The Empathy Map is a tool for understanding customers more deeply. It asks 4 important questions. First, what do they say? This is about the words customers use to describe their experience. What are they saying in reviews, complaints, interviews, conversations, or social media comments? Second, what do they think? This goes deeper than words. A customer may say, the service is okay, but they may be thinking, I am not sure I can trust this company yet. Understanding what customers think helps us uncover hidden concerns. Third, what do they feel? This focuses on emotions. Are customers excited, confused, anxious, frustrated, ignored, valued, respected, or relieved? Emotions are very important because they influence loyalty and decision-making. Fourth, what do they do? Actions often reveal intent. A customer may say they are interested but never complete the purchase. Another may complain but continue buying because they still value the product. Another may quietly stop engaging. The empathy map helps us compare words, thoughts, feelings, and actions. When we understand all four, we can design better customer experiences. Slide 7, Global Case Study, Apple. Apple's example shows the power of observation. Apple designers are known for paying close attention to how people actually use devices, not just how they say they use them. This is important because customers may not always be fully aware of their own habits. Someone may say they use a device only for work, but observation may show they also use it in the kitchen, while traveling, while helping children with homework, or while relaxing. When designers observe real usage, they discover practical needs that customers may not mention. The lesson is, observation uncovers truths customers cannot always articulate. This is why businesses should not rely only on surveys. Surveys are useful, but they depend on what customers remember, understand, and choose to say. Observation reveals behavior in context. It helps businesses see real-life use, hidden frustrations, workarounds, and opportunities for improvement. Slide 8, Tools for Deep Understanding. There are several tools businesses can use to understand customers more deeply. The first is ethnographic research and shadowing. This means observing customers in their real environment. Instead of only asking questions, you watch how they interact with a product, service, or process. The second is voice of customer analytics. Tools like Qualtrics and Medallia help businesses collect and analyze customer feedback from surveys, reviews, and experience channels. The third is sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis tools help businesses understand the emotional tone behind customer feedback. For example, are customers expressing anger, satisfaction, disappointment, confusion, or excitement? The fourth is community feedback forums. Communities can reveal what customers are discussing among themselves. Sometimes, the most honest insights come from open conversations between users. These tools help businesses go beyond assumptions. They help organizations listen continuously and respond more intelligently. But it is important to remember that tools are only helpful when the business is willing to listen and act. Slide 9, Myth versus Reality. This slide helps us correct some common assumptions about customers. The first myth is, customers don't know what they want. The reality is that customers often do know what they want, but they may not always explain it clearly without help. They may describe a frustration instead of naming the solution. The second myth is, data speaks for itself. The reality is that data needs a translator with empathy. Numbers must be interpreted carefully. A drop in engagement, for example, may have several possible meanings. Without empathy and context, a business may misread the situation. The third myth is, one survey is enough. The reality is that understanding is continuous listening. Customers change. Their needs change. Their expectations change. Markets change. A business that listened once but stopped listening may become disconnected over time. So the key message is this: customer understanding is not a one-time project. It is an ongoing discipline. Slide 10, Workshop Activity. The workshop activity invites learners to conduct 2 mini interviews during the week. The task is simple: ask someone why they chose a brand you both use. But the important part is not just the answer they give. The important part is to identify both the functional reason and the emotional reason. The functional reason may be price, convenience, availability, quality, speed, or features. The emotional reason may be trust, comfort, confidence, pride, belonging, familiarity, or peace of mind. For example, someone may say they use a bank because the app is fast. That is the functional reason. But emotionally, they may use it because it makes them feel in control of their money. Someone may say they buy a particular phone because of the camera quality. That is functional. But emotionally, they may choose it because it makes them feel creative, stylish, or confident. After the interviews, learners should complete this sentence. What we often forget about our customer is. This reflection helps us remember that customers are not just data points. They are people with stories, emotions, needs, and expectations. As we conclude this module, remember the theme: data tells you what, empathy tells you why. Data is powerful. It helps us see patterns, measure behavior, and make informed decisions. But empathy gives data meaning. When a business combines data with empathy, it can understand customers more deeply. It can design better products. It can communicate more clearly. It can solve problems more meaningfully. It can build trust and loyalty. Customers want to feel understood. They want to feel respected. They want to feel that a brand sees more than their money or transaction. So as you go through this module, keep asking: what are customers doing? Why are they doing it? What are they feeling? What are they afraid of? What do they expect? What are they not saying directly? And how can we design experiences that make them feel valued? That is the heart of understanding customers deeply. Not just knowing their numbers, but understanding their needs. Not just tracking their actions, but listening to their emotions. And not just serving them as customers, but relating to them as human beings. Book a strategy call today for your customized training package on +234 810 318 4234. At Customer Touchpoints and Insights, we are committed to your business growth and long-term success.